How are you there?
Doing well. How are you?
Thank you, fine. I understand that you're at the march at the moment. So could you please tell me,
Yes,
are
I
you
am.
safe?
Yes, we are all safe. It is 7:53 here in Detroit, in the U.S., and so the curfew is at 8 p.m. We have seven minutes, and we're trying to end the march strong, as peacefully as possible.
So now
And
there is a state of emergency in America, yeah?
yes, there is in a number of cities.
Number of cities. And could you please tell me this acts of violence we are all watching on TV channels, is it happening everywhere or what is the real situation?
I think uh, I think the media has been really exaggerating the riots that are taking place. That's the police.
Yeah.
So so basically, these organized protests have not been instructing people to riot or to loot. People have decided to do that. Individuals have decided to do that. The organized protests are peaceful. We have demands to reform the systemic racism that exists in our justice system, that exists within the police departments all over the United States.
And how many people, for example, in your city are taking part at the march?
In Detroit, this is a few hundred individuals.
Understood. And could you please tell me, like, some concrete, specific demands you have now?
I am. I want to make clear that I am not an organizing leader of the Black Lives Matter movement. I am an ally. I'm Yemeni American. I'm here in solidarity, and from what I understand, that the demands are to reform the practices and the policies surrounding uh, the minority communities, specifically the Black communities of the U.S. So reforming policies in the police department, reforming policies in every other level of government.
So it's
That
not some kind of just one tragedy that happened a few days ago.
Oh, absolutely
It's
not.
some systematic
Absolutely not.
problem.
Absolutely not. Many activists have stated this before, but George Floyd's murder was the only one filmed, was the only one on camera. There have been hundreds upon hundreds of murders in the last 300 years. We were talking about a buildup from slavery to Jim Crow to segregation to uh, the incarceration of African Americans and to the impoverished communities and the systemic racism that still exists in our school systems and in the justice system today. So this is not one isolated incident, not at all.
Yeah, do they, I mean, government officials propose something at the moment, like they will change something, they're uh, answering to these demands?
That is unfortunate because in one of Vice President Biden's recent interviews, he had recommended that police officers should shoot instead of in the heart or in the head or in the heart, or they should shoot them in the leg. That way they don't
And
die,
this,
but they can survive. And see,
understood.
this is not what people are looking for.
And these cases, when some stores were robbed and etc., is it taking place in your city or
Yes,
others?
yes. Unfortunately, that has been the case in some cities, in some areas, and even in my community, my Yemeni American community, bodegas, convenience stores have been robbed and looted. But that shouldn't be anyone's focus.
Why is it happening?
That is a distraction because people have chosen to do that. This is not something that is encouraged by the protests, by the movement. People have decided to go and do that on their own, and the movement does not take responsibility. All the movement reminds folks is to not divert the attention from the focus of the issue. The focus of the issue is
So,
police brutality.
yeah. So the majority of people who take part in this movement are peaceful. They don't like ask for some violence and etc.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That has been an exaggerated, manipulated aspect of this movement. Uh, And it has been that way for many movements before us, from the
As
civil
I
rights
understand,
era.
non-government, current or before it, didn't change anything in this regard. So why do you wait? It will happen now.
Unfortunately, it is not that we have waited. Movement has been going on for decades, and the Black Lives Matter movement started in 2013 after a series of police brutality issues came to light on a national level. So it's not that we have been waiting. People have been fighting in their own communities.
So you're wearing this mask because of coronavirus?
Yes, yes. People have misunderstood the movement as well, because they have been scolding people for going out to protest during the pandemic. But people have been following all the rules. They're social distancing, they're wearing masks, they're not engaging with one another, and yes.
So you were saying that this acts of aggression is something limited in the cities. Yeah, it's just some
Yes.
separate cases.
Yes. In Detroit here, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. And yet, there is this assumption that the protests will become violent. And this is part of the problem. This is part of the problem, is that people are already made to look like the movement does not deserve its chance because it may not be peaceful. When in actuality, it is the opposite.
I totally understand that it's difficult for you to talk right now. The last question, could you please tell me how police act at the moment?
So after curfew, if anyone is still demonstrating in the street, they tear gas them. They shoot them with rubber bullets. My friends were victims of this last weekend, and they apply a lot of pressure on the protesters, and they arrest them.
So these few cases when
Just because of the
sheriffs,
curfew, not
when
because
this,
anyone is doing anything unpeaceful on their motorcycles and showing their support.
these few cases when sheriffs in different cities said that they're sorry and kneeled together with protesters, did it help somehow?
It doesn't make any sense. If you beg for forgiveness, but you don't actually do anything to change your behavior and change policies, what is the point? Next month, this weekend, something else can happen. We need more investment in Black communities. We need the system itself to change. We need real police reform. A lot of folks in this movement have been advocating for abolition of the entire police, of disinvestment from the police. I personally promote hiring more social workers, more community organizers in these police departments.
Could you please show the crowd what's going on? Wow, it's lots of people. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to you, and stay safe there, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So this was a live broadcast from Detroit, from the United States, where protest activities are taking place for some time already because of the tragedy that happened several days ago when a person was killed, uh, maybe accidentally, by a police officer. What I mean, maybe all of us saw the video when a police officer was staying on the neck of the person, and that's why this person died. And now there is a huge wave of protests around the United States where people demand to change the system and police, to stop being more aggressive, as they say, towards Black community of the United States. So we can only wish our friends be safe and secure and achieve the goals they're moving to, because America always fought for the rights, and actually United States is one of the leaders in the world in regard with human rights defending and legal system. But unfortunately, this tragedy showed, let's say, a big problem that lots of people face every day in the United States. Let's wish them all the best of luck and to stay safe. Thank you. It was the Border Zone Project special episode from Detroit. Goodbye.